ahead and have Coach Deboer make his opening statement, and we'll get to take some questions.
You bet. Yeah. All right. Good morning. Just getting into our SEC opener, so it's exciting for us and our program, and obviously with Georgia coming in here, a ton of respect for Coach Smart and everything he's accomplished in his career, and obviously there at Georgia with all the success they've had, and so good to be playing at home. We need our crowd, our fans, to bring the energy, and obviously we got to do our part to make it exciting and make sure that there's things to cheer for. So looking forward to a great atmosphere and an awesome weekend for our program. So bye week, you get a chance to get some guys healthy, and so that was good. Even maybe not guys that you're noticing maybe being out. It's just guys that got dings and going through practice and just doing everything they can and end up on the field on Saturdays. So it was good from that aspect to get a few days for getting healthier there. So, but yeah, looking forward to a great week of practice. Shouldn't be any problem. It hasn't been a problem of trying to have energy from our guys, and that certainly shouldn't be the case this week. I know that. So, questions?
Thanks, Coach. Start with Nick on the right.
Yeah, with former President Trump set to be at this game or planning to be at this game, what are your thoughts on that and just the impact, or what it speaks to about the impact of this game?
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of celebrity-type people here, people that want to come be a part of, what's happening on game day. It's going to be, everyone's watching, and so, it'd be great to have everyone who wants to come watch be here. And for us, I told the guys this with game day and everything coming here as well, for the guys to try to take as much off of their plate, other than maybe a few extra interviews towards the end of the week. Just the main thing is that they get prepared to play the best football game that they've played this year, or I always challenge them to play the best football game they've ever played in their career. And so that's what matters when it comes down to what we can control. And but yeah, it is kind of cool that we have a lot of people who want to come be a part of the atmosphere and add to the excitement, energy that the game will bring.
Go to Colin on the left side.
Hey, Kalen. Obviously, this is your first kind of experience with SEC play, and I mean, having coached against SEC teams, whether it be at Eastern Michigan, Indiana, what were your perceptions of those teams? What made those SEC teams different, and kind of, is it kind of going into like what you expect? I mean, Georgia's kind of an outlier, but is it kind of going to what to expect in terms of your personal coaching approach of SEC play?
Yeah, I think you're asking, before I came here, right, kind of what the perception was. I think, you always just felt like physicality, right, speed, and I think as much as anything, you sometimes had a player here or a player there that could line up and compete against that person across from them. But the problem is, especially with special teams, the magnitude and depth of a roster in the SEC. And, when one guy comes out, another guy comes in, and he's almost just as good, if, not as good. And so what that does is that gives the guy that went off the field a chance to get a breather and come out and be fresh. And so, that's, to me, a big part of what makes the SEC, what it is. You got your top tier, top round draft picks that are out there making plays for you, the physicality, the speed, game breakers on both sides of the ball at all times. And then you have the depth of that being much deeper than what most programs are able to have, pretty much all programs are able to have.
We'll go back to the right side to Charlie.
Yeah, hey, Coach, when you watch film of this Georgia defense, what's the first thing that kind of jumps off the screen to you?
Well, I think you're always going to, again, kind of almost the same line with the same answer I just gave, is you're going to have a lot of physicality, you're going to have speed, but you got a system that's in place where guys are understanding, and trusting who's going to be where. And so, what you got to try to do is create the opportunities with your matchups, create opportunities, and try to do what you can do to get a step or maybe, have that defense freeze or flinch That's offensive football. You try to do that any week, but that's what becomes a bigger test when you have a program like this that has so much continuity in what they've been doing, because of their system, and especially on the defensive side of the ball.
We have a couple questions from the back middle. Ryan, go ahead.
Coach, not a lot of people have had success against Georgia in the past. One team that has is Alabama. What have you used, kind of having Jalen on your side and Malachi and some of the players that have played against this kind of team before, to your advantage going into this week?
Well, you look back to last year, right? And this is a new team. This is a new season, and that's what I always make sure we're emphasizing. This is the 2024 Alabama Crimson Tide football team, but there's certainly learning moments that you have when you've been through the experiences, and that's not obviously me. That's our players, as you mentioned, that can take those experiences and give them confidence, give them an understanding of what it takes. And you try to give them the platform. You try to give them a chance to be able to spread what they've learned to the rest of the team, and understanding it's going to be a 4-quarter game. Understand that there's going to be ebbs and flows of the game, that, it's going to be, the physicality isn't just going to be here and there. It's every single play. So you got to be on your game, on your A game, the entire start to finish, and do it as long as it's needed, considering no matter how long the game goes. So that you take those guys with those experiences, and you make sure that they get a chance to spread what they've learned with the rest of the football team.
Jamie?
Hey, Coach, everything's a first for you here. Just how are you feeling heading into coaching such a huge game like Alabama and Georgia?
Yeah, every game, like you said, is a first road trip, first game in Bryant-Denny, first conference game. But I think what you really just try to do is you just simplify it down. Any big game, and the next one is always the biggest one, right? You win this one, the next one becomes the bigger one, and so forth. And so, for us, it's just really honing in and trying to simplify it down to what you really have control of. And it's making sure our energy, attitude, and effort is on point, that we're going to continue to fight, in the midst of the battle that's going to happen on Saturday, but that our preparation is, 100% where it needs to be, because that's what's going to give you the confidence. That's what's going to give you the belief and trust when it comes to those big moments that are going to present themselves on Saturday.
Go to Chase on the left side.
You mentioned at the top guys healing up during the off week. Can you be specific at all about how things look for Quay Rousseau and Malachi Moore?
Yeah, I would expect Malachi, that was just a matter of time, working through his situation. He's out there practicing already at the end of last week. And with Quay, still taking the steps, still working through his situation. And, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic with Quay. We'll just have to see as we evaluate throughout the week what that looks like for him.
Go to Kennington on the right side.
Along those same lines, what's the status of Cole Adams and Richard Young?
Yep. Cole practiced, here, not 100% of practice, but he's out there competing and doing some things with the activities that we have, even some competitive drills. And so we're just working him back slowly, and then Richard is the same case. So he's been out there, been in uniform and going through the drills, and working back slowly with the bye week. You never want to not push, but we also had to make sure we're doing this smart with these guys and not setting themselves up for any setbacks. And so both those guys are kind of in the same boat too.
Let's go to Steven, back left.
Coach, over the bye week, how did you see a young player like Yancey Pierre take steps forward for this week against Georgia?
Yeah, he's got a taste of it, and so once that happens, there's an excitement that happens, and it's fun seeing, a guy like that, realize that every day matters, that his growth is just exponentially going to happen, especially at his age. And so, him taking, those practices seriously is what you love to see, so that he can proved to himself, proves to his teammates, proved to his coaches, all of us that he's headed in the right direction, and wanting to be prepared for getting on the football field more and more each and every week.
Let's go to Emily Grace in the front right here.
Coach, in terms of time of possession, your team and Georgia are almost identical. How do you gain separation in that area, and how significant is that point of emphasis on Saturday?
Yeah, time of possession is always an interesting stat, right? Just because, we saw in one game at the beginning of the season, our time of possession was not in our favor drastically. Explosive plays and things like that. And I feel scoring points is what it's all about. And in order to score points, you do have to have explosive plays. There's just statistical analysis that shows that. But there is a piece to also not being having one side of the ball on the football field, especially your defense, and how that will wear you down. And especially in a game like this, when you know it's going to be physical, you want to have that opportunity to play team football. You want to make sure that exists so that one side of the ball, especially your defense, isn't out there becoming vulnerable as the game goes on. We take a lot of pride in being a second half team, being a fourth quarter team, whether that's our understanding and learning of what we've seen in the first half and applying it, or especially with the fourth quarter and the physical training that comes along with being prepared and being able to be great when those moments and big times come.
This is the first time since 2007 that Alabama's been not favored at home. What's your approach to maybe built-in bulletin board material? Is it something that you embrace, or is it something you try to get the players to block out? How do you kind of go about that?
I mean, that's no one's fault that that's the case, but obviously there's going to be, even if there's one doubter, right, it falls along with the Lank mentality. And that's what we get to do is let any of the naysayers, know what we're capable of. And that's no one's fault. That's what it is. That's a tribute to what people see in Georgia and how high level of a football team that they have. And to their credit, that's exactly what they are. And then for us, it's just a matter of doing what we can do and, making sure that we present the best version of what we can be on Saturday, again, through great preparation, great focus, making sure that, we're feeling great about what we have, because we do. We feel like we have a football team that is a top-tier team that just every day is going to continue to get better. And, that's not just this week, that's not just next week, that's all season long. And so, we really feel the sky's the limit. You have to catch some breaks here along the way, whether that's health or those big moments in games that, get the swing in your favor. And so, you create those breaks. And that's, again, where us just going to work, focusing on the main thing, focusing on ourselves, focusing on us. That's what matters most.
A couple questions from the way back, far left. Let's go. Yeah. Go ahead. Yep. And then we'll give Jonathan.
All right, sounds good. Kalen, you mentioned the big atmosphere, 2 against 4, playoff-like atmosphere, really in the middle of the regular season. I mean, how much is a game like this, an environment like this, part of the reason you decide to take that leap and go all the way across the country to coach at a place like Alabama?
Yeah, no question. And I told our guys that, yesterday when we met, even though there was some work done the end of last week, schematically, offense, defense, when we got together as a team, we just talked about the game and really having some perspective. And you're exactly right. You come to this place here at Alabama to be a part of games that, gather a lot of attention, to be in an atmosphere and environment that's just special and different. And so embrace it, embrace the challenges, embrace the things that are going to come our way against great football teams. And that's, what you got to love about being a competitor. And so, yes, you're exactly right. We came here to, all of us, different journeys, players, staff, came here in different ways to be a part of something like this that you're going to see here this week and on Saturday.
Coach, over the past few years, Georgia has had a lot of success in these big regular season games when there's a lot of hype. Why do you think that is? And then 2, how do you guys try and match that as a program?
Yeah, there's got to be a belief and trust. And when it comes to close games, you can see finding a way, comes down to wanting it, preparing, because you do want it, preparing in a special way, and they've just got great continuity, and the physicality you see, the scheme, the schemes, schematics, especially defense that goes way back. I mean, Coach Smart, has implemented his system and has a lot of people now around him that have carried that on over the years as well. Offensively, now you see some carryover over the last couple of years with consistency there, and so with that comes confidence. With that comes belief. And for us, that's what we're establishing too. That's what we're working on daily, is to just really be efficient in putting that into our program, creating that. It happens because of the success our guys have had together. But I think now, you're just trying to offensively, defensively, special teams wise, just trying to keep it simple so they can go out there and play fast, but also make it complex enough to where it's tough to defend.
All right, we'll finish up with Katie on the left side here.
You've already talked about this a little bit, but this is the first time in more than a decade that Alabama's first SEC game is against a top 10 team. Kind of how do you feel about being welcomed to the SEC like that, with that being your first game? But also kind of how can you learn a lot about your team by jumping into SEC play against such a high-quality opponent?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I actually didn't know that, but yeah, it's welcome to the SEC, right? But it's going to happen throughout the season, right? There's going to be a lot of great teams that we're going to face, and so being at your best, that's what's required of me. That's required of all of us, and that's comes down to just going to work, rolling up your sleeves, and enjoying all that comes with these big challenges that are in front of you each and every week.
Thank you, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you, Real Tide.